Hello, thank you for joining me here at Leaping Lotus Tarot. I am using the Unbridled Spirit Tarot deck again. I will put in the description box if you'd like to purchase this deck. I'm clearing the deck today with this pretty little heart crystal. This reading is going to be for the week of 12, 22, 25. Lots of twos there, right? So you could be seeing 222. That might be a really synchronistic angel number for you at this time. So let's just see what we've got coming through so far. We have the Magician in reverse, and we have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, this is kind of a weird energy to get started with. It feels like somebody must be sort of reluctant about their manifestation abilities. Okay, somebody's worried about either money or how they can create something or how they can use their gifts to empower the world. We have the Seven of Cups in reverse and the Four of Wands in reverse. Okay, so with all these reversals, this is kind of really telling me that, like, if somebody could flip these into the upright, they're going to be in a lot better place with this, because the Seven of Cups is like options, you know, different things to choose from. Look at that, like, whimsical thinking there. Like, look at all the, you know, imagining she's having. And then Four of Wands, right, is celebration and harmony. So the fact that we're having all of this come out in reverse tells me that we are dealing with somebody who, honestly, I'm going to be straight up with you, I think they're feeling shame. And this is a kind of a channeled message I've been receiving a lot lately. And I'm not sure I really want to get into it too much, but basically, shame is a huge thing that we are dealing with right now as a collective. We are shoving down our gifts. We're shoving down our skill sets. We are pushing ourselves into little boxes and balls that are just small, 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 and acting as if we're not enough. Acting as if we're not good enough. And then, you know, when we shame ourselves and when we feel not enough, then we feel like we're entitled to judge others and say that they're not enough, you know, because maybe they're weak in something that we're strong in. And so we get to look down on them for that. But so this to me is, this is about shame. And so I feel like I do have to talk about this a little bit. The other day, here's a story time, right? Story time. Hit like and subscribe if this resonates for you, by the way. Please drop in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. All right, story time. So I was at a church the other day. You know, it's around Christmas time. I'm not a big church goer, but I have been going more recently, lately, in the past 6 months or so. I've been resonating with a lot of aspects of it in regards to, you know, surrender, trust, right? A power greater than myself, right? That has a knowing that's beyond anything I could possibly fathom for my life, for everyone's life. And there's a sense that I just need to trust it a little bit, right? Because I, as a human, can only know so much, at least in this, you know, this plane, right? This 3D consciousness, you know, my internal self knows so much more because, you know, I don't have to tell my heart to beat. I don't have to tell myself to breathe. Actually, I do. And that's a good practice, is to tell yourself to breathe, right? And practice breathing. Something that's natural, right? But you can put intention behind. Very much powerful energy in that. Besides the point, I've been going to church, and the church that I go to on the island that I live on, I might even have to go in and do a praise report for them for this and say, you know what, like, we need to not take for granted the fact that we are allowed to elevate people in this church. We are allowed to clap for them, literally, when they go up and sing a song, and have the bravery and courage to channel the divine through themselves and to open their heart and be vulnerable and to share that with everyone, and that we can stand for them and clap afterwards is a privilege. It's actually not a right, which sounds kind of crazy, but I went to a church over here in Utah, and they were not allowed to stand and clap for the people after they performed. I'm not really sure the reasoning for that. I'm not sure if it's because it's a distraction or what religious aspect of that is the reasoning for that. But there was a young man, probably 16 or so, who came up and did a piano solo just for, like, the Christmas, you know, I'm saying ceremony, but, you know, the church session is actually a sacrament. That's the word I'm looking for. And he did a beautiful job. Oh my goodness, it was so beautiful. He did a fantastic, you could feel the love he was putting into it. He was being very intentional with the keys, and he was giving space in the moments that needed space, right? I like to sing, so I have a very close connection to music. And at the end, I've got tears in my eyes, and all I want to do is stand up and clap. but we couldn't. We weren't allowed to. We just had to sit there. And that was extremely frustrating for me. I did not realize what a privilege it was to be able to cheer for somebody. I'm like tearing up as I'm thinking about it. Excuse me, I might have to pause. I don't know why it's messing with me so much. But then, so he went back to his seat, and I heard later from somebody who saw him that he went to his mother and had this disappointment in himself, like he somehow didn't do good enough. And that broke me to know that I couldn't validate him. No one could validate him. Sorry guys, got a little emotional there. I have to be able to deliver this message though. It is extremely important. There was another lady who went up, and beautiful blonde lady. She was with one of the other women about my age, probably about 30 or so. And she went up there and she started to sing, and she was very quiet to start, and she had to like clear her chest and cough, and she was so nervous. But her voice, unbelievable voice, okay? This woman gave us maybe like 1/16 of her ability, of her power. I could hear it in her singing that she had, honestly, probably one of the most beautiful voices I've ever heard. But she was so filled with shame and unworthiness that she couldn't express herself to these people. In her heart, she knows it's her truth, right? Or else she wouldn't be up there singing to a crowd of people that aren't going to validate her, right? So she has a gift, and God has called her to this gift to sing for people and to completely bring people to their knees with her voice. I am telling you, this woman gave us crumbs from what she could do, and the emotions coming through so strongly for me because we all have gifts. We all have a message and power to send. We all have something to say. We all need to build each other up and change the world through love, through compassion, through support, through our gifts. Through our gifts. We all have different gifts. That boy could play piano. That woman could sing. Some people are nurses. Some people are cooks. Some people are, we all have, some people are engineers and build things, architects. But if we don't allow ourselves to be vulnerable, to share what's inside that is so powerful, that can change the lives of people. If that woman didn't feel the shame in herself for sharing her ability and her own worth, she could have brought that room to its knees. I guarantee you, I could hear it in her voice that she had so much that she was not sharing. So I don't know why this gets me so emotional. But I just think it's a really important message. I was having this realization probably a couple weeks ago now, like just realizing shame within myself. And I was like, what is this? I don't need to be feeling shame about this. This is silly, right? And so I discovered it first within myself, and then now I feel like moments like that, like I wasn't even prepared for that. Like I didn't know that we weren't allowed to like clap for them, and I didn't know that that was like something that was even like a privilege to have, given the fact that, I do karaoke with my family every Saturday, and, there's all sorts of people that come in can sing. Some can sing, some can't, whatever, but they get up there and do it, and you clap for them, right? You cheer them on, you encourage them, you say, hey, good job, like, good job for having the bravery to try that, right? Especially for the people who are scared, and for the people who have a good voice and don't feel like it's worthy to be heard because it's not perfect or whatever, you get to clap for them. And I didn't realize what a blessing that is to have that freedom and that ability to impact other people in a way to validate them, for them to be heard in that moment, not pulling them aside later and saying, oh, by the way, hey, this is kind of secretive, right? But you did good, like, no, in that moment, like, you right now, you did this. You deserve to feel proud of yourself for what you just did, for being vulnerable, for sharing your heart. People need to feel comfortable to share their heart. People need to listen to people's heart when they are sharing a message, when they are speaking their truth, and if you feel like somebody's talking to you. I think that's the thing too, is that we try not to be rude. Somebody's talking about something and we feel like, oh, you know, what could I be doing that's better than this? Or, you know, this person's told this story before, or there's a reasoning for that. It's because they're not being heard. There's something in the message that they're delivering that has not been received by somebody yet. And so that's an opportunity for you in that moment to put your ego aside and to really listen to what that person is saying and to validate their heart, you know. And if somebody's just venting to you, like say that they like you don't want to listen to them because they're being negative, that's still an opportunity for you to help them in that moment to shift a different perspective, to kind of be like, hey, you know, I hear what you're saying, like that's, you know, very frustrating, but you know, there is the aspect of that you could see it was actually helpful to you because maybe you learned something from that, right? Like if that would not have happened to you, then you wouldn't have done XYZ or learned this or responded in this way. So there's always a positive, encouraging message if you actually listen to somebody's story that can help them on their path here, because we're all just walking each other home. Okay, we are all one piece of the divine creator. Every single one of us, we are just a fragment of the infinite. We are light beings, and we are energetic, and we are energy, and we are electric. And when we harness that energy and channel it very intentionally to the purpose of giving and love and listening and intention and compassion, and sharing your gift, sharing the story of yourself for others to learn from and to benefit from, that's what we're here for, is to really be present. You know, all we have is the eternal now. We can't change the past. We can't change the future. So what can you do right now that can affect those things, right? All we have is now. So this ended up kind of being a bit of a rant. Luckily, I'm only about 5 minutes in, so we can go ahead and finish up with the tarot here. But that was a message that I really had to get out because shame has been. Just look around, right? You know what I mean? Like that's what it is. We are in a state of guilt or shame or fear, right? Whatever kind of way you want to look at it, that's what is controlling us and preventing us from being the most powerful versions of ourselves that we can be, is we're smashing ourselves down in some way. We've got to stop doing that. And we've got to stop doing that to other people. We've got to start empowering other people. We need to listen. Yeah, we need to listen. Really listen. Listen to hear. Listen to understand, and listen to know. I hope that hopefully that wasn't too estranging for some people. We'll see how many people actually stick around for this whole thing, but the people who are meant to hear this message are the people who are going to hear this message. So we have the star, beautiful Aquarius energy here. We've got these desert Arabians. This is kind of gorgeous, actually. I haven't gotten this particular card out of this deck yet. It's a new deck that I got here in Utah. Well, the star, right? It's kind of perfect energy here. It's a beautiful card from the major arcana. We have the minor arcana in tarot, and we also have the major arcana. And the major arcana sort of trumps, in a way, the minor arcana. And, you know, the Aquarius star energy, the typical Rider-Waite depiction of the star in like a traditional tarot deck is of a naked woman dipping her toe into the water. And it's basically her kind of like coming out of a dark night of the soul moment and realizing that she can create and that she does accept her body and she is beautiful, and there's a very natural, down to the earth basics of the naked human body that's very symbolic in the tarot, that she's got this long hair, and so it's like, it's almost like even embodying like a fertility sort of energy. It's a creative energy, right? And so I'm going to kind of incorporate that imagery in my mind of knowing what the star is to also these desert Arabians here, because desert Arabians are bred for endurance. They're bred for beauty as well, but they're also bred for endurance. So as you think about the beauty of the woman on the star card, you can also think about the endurance, the ability to go through the desert, to go through dry and trying times, right? To walk into a new beginning, an opportunity to see what's on the other side of the darkness, right? To see what hope lies ahead through the journey of life. We also have the the Knight of Cups. So there's a gentleman here on a horse. He's got these roses, these young girls here. So the Knight of Cups can kind of be a little bit of a I don't, I don't want to say like a flirt, or I don't want to try to like discredit this energy in any way, but what the advice I'm kind of getting for this particular tarot message is that, we started off this reading with somebody who was having a lot of doubt about themselves, right? And now they've come into the star energy where there's more hope, right? And now we've got this knight that comes in that's a little I don't want to say distracting, but almost distracting in the sense that, like, now that you're in this lighter energy, it's more enticing for a masculine to be around a feminine who has the star energy, right? So this could kind of be like a warning, because I didn't want to say it, but it did kind of come out in the reverse when I picked it up. So this could be kind of a warning saying, hey, watch out for the masculines who might take advantage of your energy at this time, just trying to charm you and not really be serious. Yeah, because we have the King of Pentacles in reverse, the Ace of Wands in reverse, and the Nine of Swords. So this is just saying that, like, as you are going through this transition, you're still vulnerable. You're still learning yourself. So there's an aspect of, like, keep staying true to yourself as these doubts continue to arise, as insecurity resurfaces for you, as you haven't fully embodied the new confident version of yourself yet. This is just a reminder to stick to your passions, to stick to your truth, to not let the doubts in your mind overweigh you as you get triggered, basically, again, on your journey. Eight of Pentacles. And here we've got the carriage horses, some work horses through the woods here. This is hard work. Eight of Pentacles is doing the hard work. And so this in this sense, he's even got a smile on his face. So this is kind of fun work. I'm going to say that this is kind of the path that you're taking towards spiritual awakening and enlightenment for yourself and coming to who you truly are. It's painful, it's hard, it's work, but you're willing to do the work because the fruits of this labor, the benefits of this work are worth it in the long run of your life, for you to be able to look back on and say, I'm glad I did that, right? I'm glad I chose myself. And we have the Tower, but it's in reverse. The Tower is the crumbling down. It's the dissolving of things. It's quite dramatic. It's basically a huge uproot in your life. And so this is an encouraging message to me, because this also, again, a major arcana card. While this may be very disrupting and unsettling, and you may lose friends and you may lose family, and there's things that are just very tricky about the process as you start to become the more awakened and enlightened and intentional version of yourself, saying yes to your soul and who you are and what sets you on fire. That is estranging, because not everybody is ready to look at themselves in the mirror. Basically, when you're being your true self, the people who are ready to change themselves and to be the best version of themselves, they will resonate with you. They will be thankful for the energy that you bring. But the people who are not ready, the people who maybe are older and set in their ways, and to actually be able to look in a mirror and say, I've been doing life wrong this whole time, that is extremely hard for somebody to face, especially towards the end of their life, because then they feel like they did it all wrong. And that's very, very hard to face. The ego cannot, that's the whole point of the Tower, is the ego is crumbling down, right? But let's keep in mind, this is in reverse. So as these things are crumbling down for you, I think that with it being in reverse, it's going to be less jarring, because you know in your soul that this is what needs to happen in order for the planet to basically rise, and collective consciousness, for you to rise, for you to help others, because that's the whole point at the end of the day, right? Is that you have to be strong enough so that you can help others. Because what's the point of having all this knowledge if you can't share it, right? We have the Four of Cups. There's a little bit of lonely kind of energy here. I think it is a reminder that this path kind of can be lonely. Not everyone, it's easier to follow the status quo. It's easier to just, be in the mundane and to not be mindful. It's easy to forget and to not tap into the eternal now that's with you every moment. So it can be a lonely path, but it's a hopeful path. And so I think I need to get one last final card that validates for us here that you're on the right path. Ooh, yeah, very cool. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, the Wheel of Fortune is destiny, fate. Look at the Egyptian imagery on this card. Wow, this is gorgeous. Um, and even like the snake on the ground, and we've got this wheel, and it looks like it's like almost running over the snake. And we also have the devil in reverse. This is Capricorn energy. So I'm having a lot of thoughts at once, so let me try to put this all together. So the Wheel of Fortune is luck, destiny, fate, right? And all of the cards have an astrological sign associated with them. So like when I said the devil, that's Capricorn, okay? The Wheel of Fortune, I believe, is like, um, it's actually fair, like I want to say Gemini, but I think it's actually like all four. I want to say it's like all air signs. It's basically embodies like all of them. Which is really funny because we started this reading with the Magician in reverse. The Magician is the only other card that's the exact same way, but it was in reverse, right? So from the start of this reading, you're not embodying the air, the earth, the fire, the water in a proper way to manifest it correctly into the world. There's doubt, there's shame, there's fear. The Wheel of Fortune at the end of this now, the hope is that you got this in the upright. You can create your own destiny. You have the fate is in your hands to do with it what you will, and you can embody the earth, the fire, the water, and the swords, right? The air energy, and you know. So this is Sagittarius, this is Capricorn, this is Virgo, this is Cancer, this is Pisces, Scorpio, Libra, all the things. So. And then the devil in reverse. This is releasing toxicity. This is releasing addiction. This is releasing old patterns that have not served you so that you can create, you know, it's releasing the old so you can embody the new. And that's the same thing with the star. That's the same thing with the tower. It's very much like letting go of the old to be reborn into the new. Despite the struggle that it may take or that you've been through with it, it's all worth it in the end. So I hope that was helpful and resonated for you. It was a very important message that I personally on a soul level needed to get out. I hope it spoke to you. Drop in the comments if it spoke to you. And as always, I hope to see you next time here at Leaping Lotus Tarot.